Okay, so this is the cavern, which we have yet to actually get a spot in because it's always packed. They have live music here pretty much every night. Alright guys, long time no talk. It is now Saturday, which means we've had a full day on the ship so far. I think it's only about 1 or so. And we've gone to the garden cafe. No, we went to the local bar and grill. We were going to go to the garden cafe. But we've mostly honestly just chilled in the room, had a relaxing day, because unfortunately there's not too many entertainment options that really pique our interest per se. So we'd rather just sat in the room and read books and just chilled and whatnot, things that we don't typically do at home. And now I think we're about to go meet his parents up to go play ping pong upstairs, hopefully, since the weather is a little bit warmer and better than it has been, so they finally opened up the ping pong tables. So fingers crossed there's a few that are open. And then we get into Victoria. Supposedly we dock at 6, but they're not letting us off till 8. So we'll see how that goes. We were supposed to be off originally at 7 as of a few months ago. However, obviously things change all the time. Right now I'm enjoying myself a little Irish coffee after lunch, and we're about to go play some ping pong. And hopefully I'll catch up with you guys sometime here soon. I know I've not done the best job of vlogging this trip per se, mostly because it is a family trip and I do want to respect that to at least a fair degree. So I'll talk to you guys here again soon. We got some deep sea fishermen over here. Can't tell if they're looking for crab pots or what, because the boats are so far away, but it kind of seems like it might be a crab pot kind of boat. So we are currently docking in Victoria, and thankfully we're not the last ones to dock, because there's also, I believe, a Holland America ship over there still trying to come in. But not a bad view.
All the little taxis. Each video.
Been waiting to see you.
This is a lazy river.
Because downtown British Columbia was only about a mile or so from the cruise ship, we decided just to walk from Ogden Point, where the cruise ships dock, around the harbor. There's even little harbor ferries that can take you part of the way all the way into downtown, just taking in all the scenery and what local life is in some areas. At some point, though, I would have loved to see more of the historic homes and some of the parks, but given that we really only had about 3 or so hours between getting on and off the ship, and given the fact that it was late at night, it was just wise for us to only hang out for a little bit after the sunset for the most part. And that brief little stop in British Columbia would be the end of our cruise. The next morning, since we were just self-disembarking, we pretty much were the last ones to get off the cruise ship. And so while we were waiting for us and our group to be called, we just ended up back in the observation lounge. There wasn't really much food or breakfast available, so we just grabbed some pastries and some coffee and called it a day before being allowed to disembark the ship. We ended up having flights that left at about midnight and 1 a.m. for both my husband and I, and then my in-laws. So we tried to make the most of it, and we went back to the Fisherman's Wharf. We were still hoping to catch the people selling the fish that are thrown across. I'm sure everybody's heard about those. But ironically enough, they were basically just getting on everybody, being like, you ain't gonna get a show if you ain't gonna buy fish. And so they just weren't throwing fish at all that day, pretty much. I mean, people had hung out for a good hour and a half and hadn't seen a single fish being thrown. And so with that being said, we just went ahead and went to go find something for lunch. I personally wanted to go back over to Piroshki, which to my knowledge has a pretty strong Russian influence to it. We wanted to go get some of the salmon pate as well as I think the cinnamon roll twist, one of those. Either way, we ordered quite a bit from there before actually going over to do a sit-down lunch, and everything that we ordered was absolutely delicious. So if you were on Pike Place Market and just wandering around, the line wasn't too long when we were there, and if it is long, they move super duper quick. So I would highly suggest you go check it out if you're a big pastry connoisseur. And then afterwards, that was pretty much the end of our time there. We had decided to get a last-minute hotel room just so we could sleep since we would have an overnight flight. And both my husband and I had to drive back home to Georgia the next day so that we could get to work on time. But that concludes our amazing Alaska cruise. I would say at some point I would love to do something a little bit different, but for what it was and how affordable we got it for, I truly can't complain. It was such a blessing and so amazing to get to experience. And if you ever happen to go yourselves, please let me know what your thoughts are, if things are different, what you personally loved. I think if I had to say a favorite place, it would probably be Juneau, I want to say. I mean, Glacier Bay was also amazing, and the White Pass Railroad was just kind of a bucket list item for me, so all in all, it was just a great trip. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a lovely day. Bye. Okay guys, so it is now Monday, which is Memorial Day. We are currently driving the 7 hours back down to Georgia from Louisville, so this will probably be the end of our Alaska trip videos. And if you made it this far, thank you guys so much for watching. It was a very special trip to have done with his family, and it's just a bucket list destination for us, so I'm just incredibly thankful to have had this opportunity and to get to share it with you guys too. I'm not exactly sure what the footage situation's like. Hopefully it's good. If not, I'm sorry, I did my best. It was a family trip and I was trying to be cognizant of that, but regardless, thank you guys so much for watching and I hope you guys have a lovely day. Bye.